What's good, everybody? Yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy Worthy One, never the two, only the one. Um, it feels good to be back today. It feels good. I got a little bit of energy. I'm hydrated, a lot of water, detox. Feeling good today about myself and about things. I meditated. Life is great. But in addition to that, I've been watching a lot of videos about this topic that I wanted to present to you guys today, and it's something that means a lot to me only by way of research because I've been researching it for some time now, and it's pretty interesting. And plus, everything that we learned in school and everything that we pretty much been taught, a lot of it is lies. We don't even know if up is down. You don't even know which way we facing in the solar system and in this galaxy to even know what's real on this planet, especially by way of people who created history for us by way of paperbacks and internet, and we had no contributions to it. So don't talk to me about what's real and what's not. We here to learn. I'm here to get the information, and I'm going to go get it. I'm digging in the crates. Wherever it's at, I want to find it. So on today's episode, my boy Dane Calloway, Dane Calloway, he's really heavy on black people being from right here in America, and not being from across the water over in Africa. We got a Pan-Africanist, Dr. Umar, who believes, in Marcus Garvey's of the world, that black people took this transatlantic slave trade and ended up over here at the behest of, Spanish and English and French colonizers who basically brought people on the slave trade through the Atlantic Ocean from there over here to America and to the Americas. Now listen, I don't know where you fall at in this, but take this information, and it's really good information, especially coming on the heels of black people in Oklahoma getting recognized as members of the Muskogee tribe, aka the Creeks, and the black people being called the Creek Freedmen, part of the Creek Freedmen tribe over there in Oklahoma. They were just recognized by this Indian group as a part of them. So that really opened up the door for a win for a lot of black people, especially with Muskogee background, who've been trying to be looked at as, citizens with the birthright of being in that tribe. That's big news. That's heavy. And excuse me, but that's heavy. And if you don't think it is, you got to think about the implications, because it's people who acknowledge that there was black people here when they arrived here. And I don't want to go too far into it, but Christopher Columbus said, in his writings, that there was dark-skinned dark-skinned people when he arrived here. We have to think about that and understand that history was not written by us; it was written for us. Bufu, not Fubu, is Bufu. It's Fugazi, man. So we're gonna get into this Dane Calloway. Let me get the beats right, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into this understanding. One way or another, we're gonna get into this understanding. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hear that. When it comes to other people, the reason why is because you allow other people to take over what you already built. Culture, languages, spirituality. We could go down to the foods and the arts and the entertainments and the talents, the gifts that we naturally possess. We've been sharing these things, and of course these people are not trying to give us credit for being the trendsetters. Again, that puts us up too high. But that's what we should be coming in at, to correct the narrative. Now, when I'm getting ready to play, it's going to be that side. I'm going to play a few things, but I'm going to start off with that point right there, like controlling the narrative, right? For example, I've been out for a while talking about this And there's people out there that will claim bits and pieces of what I'm talking about it, but twisting it in order for it to match their ideology. Let me give you an example real quick. Let me play this video real quick. All right, so let's start this off with Umar Johnson.
Journeys to America. So it's no myth that Africans were already in America. Yes, we were here well before the white man. Christopher Columbus described us to a T in his own journals. He said he saw black people who looked just like the ones he had seen in West Africa. Remember, Columbus was in West Africa first. He actually spent the week at one of the slave dungeons in Ghana. I forget if it was Elmina or Cape Coast. And it was while he was in Africa that he was given a map that showed him how to get over to the so-called New World. In Africa, they knew that there were 3 currents, 3 water currents. One takes you straight across to North America. Another one takes you to Central America and Brazil. And the bottom current takes you to the Caribbean islands. So he didn't discover. We told him how to get over here. You see, my issue with, now, to your question about the slave ships, one of the first things that they did post-slavery was destroy all the relics of slavery.
Hold up. All right, so, okay, now we know, okay, what his agenda is. He's not the only one that's doing this, by the way, but he is basically the main one. What they would do is take some of my talking points and mix it up with their ideology, which would be the Pan-Africanism ideology, right? A lot of people have caught on to that. Based off of just who these people are, they caught on to their grift. They caught on to the fact that these people are spewing out misinformation and have been doing so ever since the 1960s. A lot more people are becoming aware of their lies. A lot more people know for a fact that they came from, their ancestors didn't come from Africa. They were already here. They didn't come from a different landmass. They were already here. The Africans were already there. The indigenous people of America, we were already here. Now, when every time, I remember I brought up I'm talking about the simplest point that you could make. Because, you know, these Pan-Africans would claim that Africans circumnavigated the globe, right? Okay. He's just now stating that Africans were in America. You see what I'm saying? When I was telling people that we were already in America, their duty is to switch it around and say that these people are Africans, automatically giving them a title of African. That was never proven. Christopher Columbus did not say anything about seeing Africans. He said Indians. People flipped it and said he called those people Indians because he thought he landed where? In India. You see how he's changing that? But I'm not going to forget that because that was the narrative that they were utilizing at first. I won't ever forget that. In fact, I even have videos of them stating that. But what happened was the reason why they switched it up is because I debunked it. So now they have to come up with something different. This happens each and every time. It never fails. Yes, he does not want to debate me because if we have a properly structured debate, I'm talking about where it's professional. We have judges, I'm talking about unbiased judges. It's being done in front of a live audience and it's being live streamed on YouTube. His career is over. We offered him $20K one time. He ran. We'd offered him $50K live. And he ran. Everybody saw him run. Everybody. And he calling himself the prince. So where's the king? Since the prince running, the prince got his tail stuck in between his legs. Where's the king? Bring him out. Where he at?
All right, so he was getting a little spicy there, and I didn't want to play the content, where the beef occurs, because I want to stick to the script with I want to stick to the concept of black people being from right here in America. So that's something that interests me a lot more than the beef aspect. How about you, man? But that's Dane Calloway. He could be a little much sometimes, but I feel like his thought process and just the way he feels about it, he put so much time and dedication into learning this, and to deep diving into it, just to try to get an understanding that none of us really have. So I kind of understand it. On the other side, Dr. Umar is coming from the Pan-Africanist perspective, from people who already rep this sort of standpoint. Marcus Harvey being the biggest one who created the movement. So hence why he wanted to start a school based on the name. And for all the African slaves in history who came here to the Americas and made a name for themselves. So there's two sides to this. I just wanted to bring the fresh perspective to the forefront, because it could be a lot. And listen, if you out there, leave your comments. I know it's kind of touchy, so I expect to hear back from a few of you. And look, it's welcome. Let's create a conversation around it. I know for me personally, when I asked, the people in my family, my relatives, my grandmother, my grandfather when he was alive, my mom, aunts, uncles, we're doing the research on our family, and I haven't found a slave yet. That's just me. I haven't found a slave yet in my family. And when you ask most black people from here in America, what do they have in their bloodline? Most black people are going to tell you Indian. And I don't think that's just folklore. I don't think that's just hearsay, because most of us do have Indian somewhere in our family, whatever tribe that may be. And we could say it's from the conquest of, these people who came in, the Spanish, the French, the English, and, and intermingled the slaves when they had some Indian slaves, with the African slaves, and it mixed in. And I'm not going with that. I'm not just running with that completely, right? I do believe there is a lineage of people who was already right here. And that's because there are some things that are shown that show that black people were here. Look into the Olmecs. Look into the Olmec statues. Olmec, Olmec. There were some statues, some big statue heads that are found down in Mexico near Veracruz on the eastern coast of Mexico. And these show predominantly black features. And this is one of the oldest civilizations in Mexico before the Incans and the Mayans. They had broad noses. Looks like they had cornrow braids under this sort of headgear. Egyptian mummies with cocaine and tobacco leaves inside of their stomach that they found residues of this in the stomachs of Egyptian kings. What's the connection? Hey, it's a lot more to learn to this world, man. Like I said, we don't know which way is up and which way is down. So if we can't even get that right, then how are we to believe people that are just telling us anything? Think for yourself. Think for yourself. Do your own research. There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong way of doing things. Create a theory and then go see if that theory is true. And if something is theorized until it could be proven factual, that's okay. But at least go out there and try to make something happen for yourself and for your family. You can start with just looking into your family. That's starting the research right there. And tell me, do you bring back an African slave anywhere in your family? I know that I don't. Now look, there are going to be some people who do. There are going to be some people who can identify Africans in their family, and I'm happy for them. But I just haven't found that yet. And we also know that most Africans that were brought here during the slave trade were brought to Brazil, because the most black people that live outside of Africa actually live in Brazil. You would think that it was here in America. I know I did. They only brought about 300,000 slaves to America. Do your homework. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But I just wanted to, create that conversation, man. So let's talk about it. Let's heat it up. Let's turn it up a little notch here on the Worthy Network. Turn it up a little notch. I want to be a little messy. I want to stir. I want to stir some BS up, and that's only because I know that it will. Whether you from Indian or Native American descent here, whether you African, from the African continent, or whether you one of those black nationalists that's from right here, like Dr. Umar, who believe in that Pan-African movement, or if you one of those black people that live here and believe that you are aboriginal to this continent. Talk about it. Let's have the conversation. And with that being said, I look forward to bringing you more exclusive content right here on the Worthy Network. It's your boy, the Worthy One, never the two. Never the two. How can I be number two when I'm number one? Hottest under the sun. I ain't gonna go into it, but yo, man, it's your boy. Let me get out of here. We'll do another one tomorrow, and hopefully I can find something interesting for us to watch. I look forward to being able to hear your voices. It means a lot to me. I'm gaining more subscribers. I don't got a lot. Don't look at my numbers. Do not look at my numbers. But it's enough, for me to know that I should keep going and continue to do what I'm doing because I like doing it. And I'll continue to do so. Get the conversation going and let's talk about it. Are black people indigenous to America? We out.